Hello, welcome. So today we're going to talk about that little question you ask yourself. It's kind of big. Is there more to life than this? I mean, really? Is this it? Is this all there is? Well, you might get that when you're not when you're so happy, but when you're really, you're going through some stuff. So today, let's get some answers for you and see if the next time you ask yourself, isn't there more to life than this? You know what you mean by that, and you know where you want to turn. I'm Carol Deshane, your intuitive spiritual guide for practical matters and certified Marconics energy recalibration practitioner. So, like I said, you don't really ask yourself this question, isn't there more to life than this, when it's your wedding day, when you have your brand new house that you moved in, or you graduated from college, or the day that your new baby is born. Well, hopefully you don't. But you ask yourself this question when maybe your life's much more challenging than you really like it to be, or maybe you're stuck in a rut and you don't seem to be moving forward, and you're wondering if there isn't something just a little bit more than where you're at. And then, of course, there's that big birthday with a zero on the end, whichever one that may be for you. And that might make you go, oh, God, I've wasted my life. Isn't there something more I should be doing with it? It feels like I'm here for a reason, but I have no idea what it is. So maybe that's where you are when you ask that question. So before we get into the question itself, I want you to do me a favor, or do yourself a favor, and fill in this blank for me. I'm going to be saying the same sentence 3 times, and I want you to fill in the blank. So the blank goes like this. My life is what? Again, my life is So what did you say? Did you say my life is wonderful? My life is amazing? Or my life stinks? It's really not very good? You shouldn't ask me that question. I don't even want to go there. I mean, did you say it? Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. What were your answers? And were you being honest with yourself? Because sometimes we're trained to be where we say, oh, it's great. And you're thinking, oh my God, it's not good. Or maybe you're saying it's not good when honestly, if you look at each piece of the puzzle in your life, you have the relationship piece and the work piece and the children and the neighbors and the rest of the family and finances and all those pieces. Maybe only one is pretty bad, but it's really bad. So you think your life sucks. But when you look at the rest of it, it's actually pretty good. It's just one thing you need to work on. And then again, if you get 2 or 3 things that are going bad all at the same time, maybe you lost your job, your spouse is divorcing you, or maybe they died. I mean, it could be a number of things that happen all together. 2 or 3 things can really add up to, even if you have fine with your finances, if the other things happen, it's going to make you just not be in a good place. And you might definitely say at that point, isn't there more to life than this? Because this is bad. This isn't what I signed up for. So now that you know what you think your life is like, you have kind of a baseline for that. And now when you ask yourself, is there more to life than this? Let's look at what you mean by that, because you could mean numerous different things. So I'm going to go over 3 or 4 different things that you might mean and see if that fits in for you. So the first one is if your life is really tough or you're super busy and there's just no time to do anything that's fun and, just joyful because you just have no minutes in any day, then maybe what you mean when you say, isn't there more to life than this? You just want some fun. You just want some joy. And so I ask you, is it really that hard? Out of 1,140 minutes in a day, I looked it up, believe it or not, there's a lot of minutes in a day. Can you find 5 minutes for yourself? 5 minutes to take to make your life better and probably everybody around you. Because not only if you find 5 minutes, or maybe if you're crazy, 10 minutes of joy, or 5 minutes more than what you're doing now, finding that time for yourself, to feed yourself, to make you feel better, you're going to do better everywhere. Your family's going to be happier because you'll be easier to get along with. Your work will be better because it won't be suffering from being burned out. Just take a little bit of time for yourself first. So say 5 minutes, like I said, out of 1,140 minutes. And now I'm going to ask you to do something that you may not want to do, but it should be fun. So get a pad, maybe a yellow pad or just a piece of paper that's kind of big, and start writing, yes, with pen and ink or pencil, if you actually even have one of those, all the things that bring you joy. Write them out because it really is a good memory twist to get them. Typing is not the same thing as handwriting things out. Write it out. All the things that are fun for you, that bring you joy. It doesn't matter if it takes you 5 minutes or if it's a 2-week vacation you're looking at. Write them all down. So maybe you always wanted to go to Egypt, and that's on the list, and visit the pyramids. Or maybe you just love to play with your kids or with the dog or a cat that you have. Maybe you put on their date night with your spouse. You love to go out to dinner, see a movie or a theater show. Maybe gardening is it, or even meditation. Or maybe you love to read. And maybe you love to do it in a bubble bath. So all those things, no matter how much time they would take you, start writing them down. Look at all the things that could bring you joy if you gave yourself permission to have it. And then start with 5 minutes. Find a time you can do it and pick something on the list. It can be different every day, it doesn't matter. But to find that fun and to find the more to life than where you're at right now, if this is what you need, do that piece. Find the 5 minutes. And you don't need to schedule it if you don't want to. But if you don't get to it in the first 2 to 3 days and you go to bed and you go, oh, yeah, I didn't do that joy thing. I missed 5 minutes. I'm too tired now, I'm going to bed. If you don't schedule it and that's what happens, then you need to schedule it. Because you may be like all these other busy people. If it's not on your calendar, you just don't remember to do it because out of sight, out of mind. It's not a priority until it becomes one. So give yourself that gift and make it a priority. Because then, as you go along, you give it another 5 minutes. Maybe you'll go crazy and make it another 10 or 15 minutes. Maybe you'll have a whole half hour in a day for fun or joy. And you might even end up with that vacation of 2 or 3 weeks that you've always wanted to take because you give yourself permission while still doing what you need to do in the outside world of work and other things that need to get done. So that's the first piece of the puzzle. Now, you may also find that this isn't you at all, that this fun thing, it's not actually what you mean when you say, there's got to be more to life than this. Maybe what you mean is that you want to make a difference somehow. You want your footprint to matter that you were here. You want people to see you, to get you, to know that you made a difference. And that's what you're really looking for. Maybe your day job isn't the way to do it. And you know it. It's not really doing it for you. But you need to keep it. And so for now, you may need to do a volunteer opportunity to find, yes, another more than 5 minutes, maybe an hour or two over the weekend, that you can do it maybe every other week or once a month if you really, have no time, but something that you feel would make a difference, that would bring you that kind of feeling that you get when you're doing something that you not only know is right, but it just really makes you feel good inside. So now what does that mean to you? Well, there's 3 different options that I see personally. So see how you feel when I mention these. So if you're looking for a volunteer opportunity to make a difference, what about people? Does that feel like people would be people that need your help? Is that what you'd like to do? Or maybe you really don't like people so much and you'd rather not be more involved with people because you get enough of them during the week. You'd rather be around animals because animals need your help. and you really love that feeling, that you really have a deep caring for animals. Or maybe it's Mother Earth, because you know there's too much population growth, there's fresh water issues, there's, of course, the climate problem. So there's different things that maybe you can do there. So whichever one of those you see, then maybe delve into it a little more. If it's people, is it babies or young children? Is it school-age children? Or maybe it's people who are the elderly, who are on hospice or in retirement centers who you'd like to help and to be around. Or perhaps it's people who are disabled, people who don't know how to read. There are numerous different, a million different places that you can go to help people. See what feels right. That doesn't feel like work, but that really would make you feel good about yourself. And then look on the internet. Google is so wonderful. Look up different opportunities in your area. Look up what times they're available. You can call them, email them, and say you'd like to volunteer, but it depends on when they need people and when are volunteer opportunities available. And there are places in your community as well that you can help, not only just by looking at Google with with like charitable organizations, but you can also do it for different local people that are around. So, and also like with animals, you might find you want to help zoo animals who are abused, or wild animals like Save the Whales. It used to be a big cry. And there's all sorts of things that you can do. So if that's what you mean when you say there's got to be more than this, look into the volunteer opportunities. Now, the last thing that I mentioned earlier is when you get to that birthday, or you get to the point where you're thinking, I may have wasted my life. There's got to be more than this. And what you probably mean by that is that you want to feel more connected. You want to feel like not just that you're making a difference, but that you're working your mission, your goal, what you're here to do on the planet. And not everyone gets there, and some people call it a life purpose or a path. But it's what it feels like to you. This is what I should be doing. This is my goal, and it feeds you. It makes you feel like you know this is it. No matter how much work it may appear, this is what makes you happy. It floats your boat, and it just gives you joy. So now I'm going to get to a couple of secrets that I haven't told people before that you may know and you may not. Because the first one is that not knowing your life purpose and the worry that you may never figure it out. Well, it's not a secret, but there are a lot of life coaches, including me, who have tools in order to help you find it. But let me tell you that you already know what it is. And that's the secret. Because somewhere along the line, you said to yourself, oh, and you know what it is, but you don't connect it because it might seem too big, or you might not know how to go about doing it. So therefore, you think about it every once in a while, but you don't actually do it necessarily, or do it in a way that brings you that joy because you can't figure out how to make a living at it, so you don't actually do it. And for example, mine was always as a child and early 20s, I would say, I know, I want to heal and inspire other people. Well, it sounded rather grandiose, and I had no idea how to do it because medicine meant blood. No, I didn't faint at the sight of blood, but it wasn't my first choice. And I have to say, science also was not my forte. Math up to a certain point, but science, I didn't really get it. Didn't really like it. I was more the creative person. So I really was not thinking that was a possibility. And I took psychology in class thinking I would do that in college, and pigeonholing people into specific places, I couldn't do it. I couldn't get past the first class, and I knew there was more to it than that, but I just couldn't seem to do it. So I kind of gave up on my thought that I could heal and inspire other people. And so I've kind of come around to it at a certain age and said, oh my goodness, I'm actually living my purpose, because between the life coaching, I'm helping to inspire and the speaking, and also the healing has to do with my Marconics energy and the energy clearing that I do at people's homes to help them sleep better and be happier in their homes. So I'm actually doing my purpose, finally, after so many years. And you probably have had that thought too, where you know that you have been doing that. You know you had the idea, but you may not know how to go about doing it. And I've had a number of people say, wait a minute, you mean it's that easy? This is my purpose? And I went, how does that feel to you? And they went, yeah, oh, all this time I knew it and I didn't do anything about it. I said, that's okay. Because secret number 2, you don't need to worry about whether you can do your path or not. Your purpose is your purpose. No one can do it better than you. No one can take it away from you. It's your purpose, and you can't fail at it. Once you step into it, it's what you're meant to do. You will do what you're meant to do. So the secret is that you can't fail. You don't ever need to worry about that. It's something that's yours alone. So I hope that this has helped dispel a couple of myths and given you some ideas about what it means to say for you, there's got to be more to life than this. Because the next time you say it, I want you to go, oh, I know what I can do about this. There has to be more to life than this. Yes, there is, but only if I get off my duff and do something. If I sit on my behind and I don't change and make tomorrow, I don't make today any different than it is yesterday, tomorrow will look the same. 5 years will look the same. 10 and 20 years will look the same as it does today. And if you love today, that's perfect. But if you don't, and you really want to change and do something that makes you happy, that you say, there does have to be more to life than this, and I can make it happen. Thank you for listening. Again, I'm Carol Deshane. If you like what you hear, please connect to my YouTube channel and subscribe, and also click on the icon so that you can have the information when my videos go out. Thank you so much, and until next time, bye-bye.